Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Selamat pagi dan salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Yang terhormat Profesor Dr. Roziah Mohd Rasdi yang telah hadir di ruangan ini, para mahasiswa serta hadirin yang saya hormati yang hadir baik secara offline maupun online di Zoom. Selamat datang pada acara Research Talk dengan tema Effectiveness of Mobile Career Competency Intervention atau MCCI on Enhancing Career Competencies for Malaysian Public Managers. Pertama-tama saya ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada Unit Penelitian dan Pengabdian Masyarakat UI yang berkesempatan memberikan saya pengalaman untuk memoderatori acara ini. Pagi ini kita akan melaksanakan seminar tentang bagaimana intervensi mobile dapat memperkuat kompetensi karir. Penelitian ini telah dikembangkan oleh Profesor Dr. Roziah Muhammad Rasdi. Beliau adalah ahli dalam pembangunan profesional dan pendidikan lanjutan dari Universitas Putra, Malaysia. Izinkan saya membacakan CV beliau. Ya, beliau mengirimkan 20 halaman CV dengan banyak sekali pengalaman, teman-teman. Profesor Dr. Roziah Muhammad Rasdi, ya, merupakan profesor dari Human Resource Development di Faculty of Educational Studies Universiti Putra, Malaysia. Memiliki academic qualification dengan gelar Doctoral of Psychology, Human Resource Development dari Universiti Putra, Malaysia. Scopus indeksnya cukup tinggi, 16 dengan Google Scholar. 17. Ya, 17 sudah naik, luar biasa. Board membership-nya juga luar biasa, CV-nya cukup panjang dengan banyak sekali pengalaman dan hasil tulisan karya ilmiah yang luar biasa diakui baik internasional, nasional. Beliau juga memegang copyright of intellect property khususnya di intervention to stay scale dan kompetensi intervention protocol modul. Ya, saya ingin memberikan pantun buat Prof. Boleh, Prof?
Oh, silakan.
Mentari pagi ke pasar membeli bunga melati, harum semerbak di pagi hari. Selamat datang kami ucapkan dari hati untuk Prof. Roziah yang cantik berseri. Give applause to Prof. Roziah. Time is yours, waktu dan tempat kami persilahkan.
Oke, selamat siang, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang kepada semua. A very good morning to all. Thank you so much, Tia, for the very, long introductions. And thank you so much to UI for inviting me to be here today as the adjunct professor. So I'm very much excited to share some of my research findings and have actually chosen the MCCI. So what is MCCI? We are yet to discover on what is MCCI. So, all right. For the talk, research talk, all right. So the title of my research sharing today is Effectiveness of Mobile Career Competencies, Intervention on Enhancing Career Competencies for Malaysian Public Managers. A little bit of corrections on Tia introductions just now. My doctoral degree is on human resource development. But definitely psychology is an integral areas, which embedded within the human resource development. So straight to the presentations today about the MCCI, which is the Mobile Career Competencies Intervention, right? So this is a research which have been conducted a few years ago, and then we still on this in terms of we trying to get the product to the market, but it is quite challenging in order to do so. So me as the lead researcher, and then I have 3 others in my team, Dr. Ho Seng Hong from the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, Malaysia. And then we have Professor Technologist Dr. Rahina Ibrahim and Dr. Masnida Ahmad Kambari, who I also believe that they need to be due recognitions for this project. So these are the outline of my presentation, some backgrounds, the methodology, results, and discussions, and further about the product descriptions, which I'm excited to share with all of you today. All right. So when we talk about career competencies, what crossed your mind? Yeah. So competencies is basically about to try to inculcate skills, knowledge, and also behavioral or aspirations. There are so many types of competencies, be it technical competencies, job competencies, soft skills competencies. But the one that I'm going to share today is on career competencies. So what is career competencies? Okay, so now, in terms of practice, there have been so many research. I'm sorry if I'm going to do like this. So meaning to say, you all will see my behind. But if I were to do like this, and that side will see. All right. So I'm trying to balance actually. All right. So now, when we talk about career competencies, it's not just based on technical competencies, but what's more is actually related to reflexive competencies, communicative competencies, and also behavioral competencies, which is more than technical competencies or the behavioral competencies. So it embeds on so many other elements, which will be shared. Which will be shared in this morning session. So basically, in training, in conducting training in the Malaysian public sectors, we have so many bombarded with the technical training and also the sort of like motivational training. But all this training, when we look at in terms of the assessments of the public servants, it have not yet achieved to the expected level. So we then see that what is the reason behind that. So we suggest that much needed is that on the career competencies, rather, it's not just technical competencies, but to add on to the collective or the massive collections of the training. So we believe that we need to also add on the elements of career competencies. So basically, the training that have been, or the routine training which have been conducted, have focused objectively on the career outcomes, which, basically they're providing like the technical competencies and the on-the-job competencies and whatnot, to improve job performance and leadership competencies. So the design in Malaysia, the design of the training program has been run and also have been planned by our National Training Institute, which is known as INTAN. And despite all these efforts, we see that career competencies are not being effectively developed and public servants have consistently underperformed. So training is still primarily conducted in traditional classroom setting, which has proven as less effective. And what more, when now we are talking about the industrial revolutions, IR 4.0, and the advancements of technology, and whereby hybrid working is being given primarily importance. So, and that's add on to the needs of developing an instrument or a tools or an applications which can meet the demands of the public servants. So additionally, 45% of public servants belong to Generation Y. And we know that the Y generations, they are quite advanced in terms of technology, and they are much more favored in terms of, when training is being conducted through mobile device on the internet. Okay. So with the accumulations of all the problems, such as the number of complaints regarding the service of the public servants is increasing, and then where the stakeholders are not satisfied, and on top of that, reports from the World Bank found that the public service performance is declining, and the OECD public service unable to meet the public's expectations. So given all this background and also problems, then we are suggesting to develop the career competencies interventions using the mobile applications. So the research objective is to develop and evaluate the effectiveness of a culture-specific mobile career competencies intervention in enhancing career competency among public servants in Malaysia. With this one objective, we break up into several sub-research objectives to develop a module of career competencies intervention for the public servants to explore the mobile futures preferred by the public servant. And in this regard, we are employing managers as the respondents of the study, and to develop and implement a mobile career competencies intervention for the public servants in Malaysia to validate the mobile career competencies intervention and to evaluate the effectiveness of mobile career competencies intervention. So our research started from scratch, and then we start to digging for what are the important elements to be inbuilt in the mobile application, and then we design, and then we develop, and then we tested and to see on the effectiveness of the intervention. So a little bit on the background of the literature review. So on the career competencies, like what I mentioned just now, is a kind of behavioral competency. And it's very much unlike the technical competencies or the core competencies which have been embedded in the training program, and which according to Ackermann's, career competencies includes the reflective, communicative, and behavioral competencies, where all these will contribute to the career competencies of the individual. So when we talk about reflective, it's in line, or it's actually highlights about passions, values of the individual. So why we are doing this job? Like me as an academic, so what are my values? My passions in being an academic. And then the communicative, so it talks about our actions in terms of probably disseminating our knowledge and also showcasing our skill and expertise. And then on the behavioral competencies, it talks about the proactive actions of the individuals in going for their navigating their career towards career success. So all these elements are being embedded in the development and design of the MCCI, or the Mobile Career Competencies Intervention. So so those are the where are the mouse? Where is the mouse? Okay. Right. So the three important parts which being included in the design of the MCCI are the self-reflection on motivation and value, on the awareness of importance, networking and communication, And third, on proactive taking action on career-related process. So these are the three major components according to the literatures, according to theories that are important in developing individuals' career competencies. Right. So going to the theoretical discussions or the theoretical foundations of this study. So we refer to the SCCT or the social cognitive career theory. And social cognitive career theory developed by Land, Brown, and Hackett in 1994 were then advanced or the further undergoing further development. And then so basically, this theory is focusing on how career interest was developed and how career choice action was made, and then how career success is attained or achieved. So this three-segmental model explains how individuals, from the start of their career, and then they develop their career interests, and then how they make proactive action, and then how they gain their career performance or their career success. And then it also explains on the behavioral intention, which regulated through the cognitive process, where the important element in this theory is self-efficacy. According to the career research, and there are so many empirical evidence which have shown the importance of self-efficacy, meaning to say self-belief, that we believe that we can do this. We believe that we can perform. Okay, so this self-belief is an important element, and it has been denoted in so many career studies. Okay, so it's basically the one's belief in the capability to perform the targeted behavior. And Albert Bandura described these beliefs as determinants on how people think, behave, and feel, which influence career behaviors of their career outcome. So and from this self-belief, then it will then triggers the outcome expectations, and then all these elements will be interactive, and producing the positive effect. So the model or the framework of our research as displayed, so it highlights on the person inputs, which leads to learning experience. And from this learning experience will enhance self-efficacy of the individuals. And then all in all, this will move towards the career behavioral action. So this model is, the foundation is this model is from the social cognitive career theory. Okay, so based on the discussions of the career findings, so the hypothesis for these studies, we have developed 7 hypotheses. And the first hypothesis is on the MCCI, which is Mobile Career Competencies Intervention, is effective in increasing the career competencies. And then, so the second one is the MCCI is effective in increasing the reflection on motivation. And the third one is, so the sub of the first hypothesis is effective in increasing the reflection of motivation. And 1B is MCCI is effective in increasing the reflection on qualities. And then 1C is MCCI is effective in increasing networking. And 1D is MCCI is effective in increasing the self-profiling. And 1E is MCCI is effective in increasing the work exploration. And 1F is in increasing the career control. So those are basically the aspect that we extract from the theory on what aspect that need to be highlighted in our model. All right. So going to the methodology of the study, this study used sequential exploratory mixed design. So sequential exploratory mixed design is basically a combination of qualitative and quantitative research. So, but it starts with qualitative because it wants to explore on what are the elements needed to develop the module. And then we go to the quantitative research paradigm because once we develop the module and we tested the module and we test on the effectiveness of the module. So it involved two phases of research. Phase one, which is qualitative, phase two, which is quantitative. All right. We map the research questions. So we have like several research questions. And based on these research questions, we map on the what would be the content of the program evaluation and what would be the methodology that will be adopted in order to achieve the content. And in terms of the sample size and analysis, what would that be? Okay, so for each of the research questions, we try to extract what are needed to answer to all the research questions. And this also be a guideline to the researchers in order to to implement and to run the whole idea of the research. Okay. And then, so in terms of the development and validation of the MCCI, so this is a flow chart, which explains about, it starts with the interview, right. So it starts with the interview, and then we analyze the interview data, and we design. And then, so based on the interviewer evaluations, whether they agree or not agree, so this process is a back and forth process. And then based on the results of the evaluation, so we design the software and then we validate using the expert review for the content analysis and construct validations. So based on that, so we tested in order to test on the internal consistency of the instruments that will be going to be used for and then we proceed with the improving the software and again the validations using expert. And so before we go for the final validations, using 10 respondents for the pilot test. And then, so based on the pilot test, we update the versions, and before it then being tested to the generalized sample, which is the managers of the public service in Malaysia. So we also have gained ethical approval in conducting this research. And not just that, I have also fulfilled the good clinical practice standards, even though this study is not directly related to medical field. And we got informed consents from the participants. And so basically the trial was retrospectively registered with clinical trials. All right, so going to, as I said, we have two phases, all right? So phase one of the study, where is qualitative. So it involved the development of the career competencies intervention protocol. And we conducted interviews, and then based on the interviews, then we, the data, and then we got like try to, based on the analysis of the data, then we got like 5 modules. So we interviewed the career expert, the psychologists, those experts in career studies, and then we also got like validations, yeah, from the career experts, yeah, and then the modules were then amended and improvised, and some of the modules were then break down, yeah, to become more, very specific modules, and then it end up to become the 9 modules. So for the first one, but part 2, yeah, so we try to understand on the apps itself, what kind of apps is most preferred by the user. Okay, for that we interviewed the informants, yeah, so it's using the purposive sampling. And then the interview were recorded and transcribed, and then were analyzed using constant comparative method. And we got some few findings related to what are the preferred future of the MCCI. Okay, so the outcome of phase 1 is basically inform and transform into mobile application, prototype, paper prototyping, personas and essential users, cases, and storyboard techniques. And for phase 2, so phase 2 also involves 2 parts, where first, based on the module, we have been validated by experts, and then we go to the pilot studies, where we use 10 respondents and to test on the internal consistencies, of the module. And then the Cronbach alpha achieved is 0.95, which is quite high. And so there are, those are some of the findings. Yeah? So ease of use, quality of support, information, system ease of learning, and also satisfaction. And these are some of the themes, yeah, generated from the questionnaires. Okay. And then for the for testing on the effectiveness of the MCCI, so we use 70 respondents, and these 70 respondents were actually generated from the using the RCT randomized control trial. Yeah. So based on the number of populations of the public servants, which is about 1,000 plus. Yeah? So based on these numbers of population, then using the RCT technique, then we generated the 70 respondents. Okay, so we got like on the second part of the second phase, so we run an experimental design study, which we have 2 groups, the intervention group and also the control trial group. Yeah, and for the interventions, so we gave the MCCI, yeah, and then it's to be administered, yeah, by the user. And so we gave them like some intervals. So we took data at the baseline, yeah, at the start, and then after 4 weeks, yeah, then after 12 weeks. Yeah. So based on these intervals, then we took data and we monitor, yeah, the progress. So the next process is basically so these are, further informations about how we go about, yeah, in doing the second phase of the study. Yeah, so we use specifically the population is the administrative and diplomatic officers, and they are the so-called managers in the public servants of Malaysia, and they are at grade 41. So grade 41 meaning they are at the entry level. Yeah, so first up when they join the public service, yeah, so they will start at grade 41. Okay, so that is the inclusion criteria, yeah, and they must have Android, H phone, and then a handphone, and then they must have the written informed consent, yeah, from them, yeah, and so we exclude some of them who are using iPhone and also have disciplinary issues. Okay, for some reason, yeah, the mobile apps cannot support those who are using iPhone. So that's the limitations of the intervention. All right. The sample size, we tried to recruit 70, but we managed to get to 64. Yeah, and then we tried to recruit 70 and we got like fews, yeah, like 64 or 67, yeah. So and then but according to Bernard Rosner, based on the randomized control trial, 64 is sufficient, yeah, to for using, yeah, in the study. So the name, yeah, for the officers graded 41 were obtained, and we have like 1,114 name lists, yeah, and using RCT, so the which is randomized, yeah. So we got like 70 names, at the final round. And then so these are basically some of the process, yeah, that we have done. And then we got their informed consent, yeah, on that one. So we try to also avoid cross contaminations, yeah, in getting the samples. And then on the instrument part, so we go for pilot testing to check on the internal consistency of the instrument. Yeah, and so the module, basically we got like so now they have 6, yeah, modules, and then the AVE and also the composite reliability all met. Yeah. So so basically the variance explains and the composite reliability all achieve. Right. So these are further tests that we did on the discriminant validity to ensure that the construct that we derive is actually distinct from each other. So no overlapping in between. All right. So the CR values or the composite reliability values also was more than 0.0, indicating that it's satisfactory of the internal consistency. And the loading was greater than 0.7, meaning that it satisfies, it has demonstrated satisfactory indicator in terms of reliability. And the average variance extracted also is more than 0.5, which demonstrate the acceptable convergent validity. So the construct is not just diverge, but it's meaning to say it's mutually exclusive between one to another. Okay. So we conclude that the career competencies questionnaire has demonstrated good and acceptable reliability and validity. And for phase 1, so now I'm sharing with you the results of the phase 1 in regards to developing and validating career competencies intervention protocol. So we have the we come up with several modules of before we there are in development of the module, we come to a series of module, and then it was breakdown into more modules, so and then it was commented by our assessors amongst the career experts and also those who are expert in HRD, human resource development, and also psychologists. So these are the processes, which some of the things being added and some being, omitted from the model, and things that have been commented by the evaluator on the specific models that we develop. So these are some of the examples of the results. And then, so basically the models were developed by the 6 career being validated by 6 career experts by employing CIRIC's module development model. And so based on the validation by experts, we got the 80% content validity. And for the results on the phase 1, second part of phase 1, the mobile futures, which referred by the public servants. Okay, so now basically there are 2 parts. Okay, So the first part is to develop the module, the contents of the application. But the second part is to know what is the preferred design of the medium, which will be used to showcasing, to present the modules. Yeah. So we need to know to what kind of preferred design that the users like. Yeah, whether they, they like what are the features, that they like for the application. So we recruited 10 officers. Yeah, and these 10 officers, basically we have met the saturation point at 9, but we continued to 10 and then generate 4 themes, from this interview. And those 4 themes are mobile, reason for using the mobile application, factor motivating, factor demotivating, and gamification element. So some of the reasons where we got for using the mobile applications are operational and more manageable tasks or personal matters. A majority of the informants never use mobile applications in career management and rarely heard about My Hermes. My Hermes is actually the human resource information management system, which being used by the public servants in order to managing some of the their career businesses and matters. So from the results of the interviews, we generated 4 themes. Okay, so the sub themes that generated along for the factor motivate usage. So we have 4 themes. The first theme is factor that motivating the usage of the apps. And we got sort of reminders, tracking and self-monitoring, textual, and these are all the sub-themes generated. So the second theme is on the factor that demotivating. So the sub-themes generated is advertisement and system hang or slow. So for the gamification benefits, so the 4 sub-themes were generated. So these are the process that we did in order to generate and to understand more specific features that preferred by the public servants. Right. So in terms of the design and development of the application, so if you look closely at this flowchart, basically it got the enter login screen, and then you have to log in first, and then so it also introduced the elements of rewards, and you got 2 dashboard, so it contains of the reward screen, and the other one is on the courses screen. So on the courses screen, we included or embed the 9 modules which have been developed in the first phase of the study. Okay. So to share with you further, on the mobile application design and development, which we show in terms of 2 types. The first one is the paper type. So this is the paper type. So we try to sketch the idea on papers first, before it was then handed to the people who are expert in development of the software. So then they develop the mobile prototyping, like this one on your right side. Okay, if you see the screen, it's on the obviously the left side is the paper, and then the right side is on the mobile prototyping. So next, on the mobile main page and video introduction page. So these are on the main page. If you open the MCCI, so then this page will appear. So the course page, and then moving to the courses page. We have these are the 9 models that were developed during the first phase of the study. Okay, so these are the sketch that we did on the on paper. Right. Next is module 1. module 2 until module 9. Okay, so so these are the paper sketch, yeah, and on the right is the courses which being developed by the software engineer. So we got like course 1, yeah, course 2, and the content of the course, these are the ones that we got from the first phase of the study, yeah, where it went through the process of validations by experts. Yeah. Okay. More is on the leaderboard and reward system. Yeah. So so you can see that here, yeah, on the mobile prototyping, the leaderboard, and also the reward system here. Okay. All right. So what's the results, yeah, for the phase 2 part 1? So for part 1, when we tested among the officers, grade 41, yeah, and in order to detect the usability problems and whatnot, yeah, so the and so these are the results. The 10 participants usability score was 82.87, which is above 68, the cutoff point. And then it shows that career competencies intervention perceive acceptable usability, right? So, and moving further, when we tested on the effectiveness of the mobile career competencies interventions through randomized control trial, and based on the 1,114 as the number of populations that we had, so we extract and recruit just 70, and these 70 were actually obtained through the process of RCT, or randomized control trial. And so out of 70 participants who completed the questionnaire, 69 participants completed the 4 weeks follow-up test, okay, post-test, and 64 in which we have 2 groups. So we divided into 2 groups. First, the group with the intervention, which is the MCCI. The other group is a group of control, which we don't give, we don't give anything. Yeah. And so 35 and 35 each, right? So, so as I said earlier, then we have 3 readings. Yeah. So the first one is at the start, and the second reading is after 4 weeks, and the third reading is after 12 weeks. Okay. So after 4 weeks, so we got like 34 interventions and 35 control. Okay. And 64 participants completed at 12 weeks follow-up test. So after 12 weeks, then we got like, the attrition rate is there, but, we can like, alhamdulillah, we minimize in terms of the number of those who withdraw from the study. So we got like 31 from the interventions and 33 from the control group. And so in terms of response rate, so we managed to get 98.57%, and for the group, which is I think the control group, and then for the interventions group, we got 91.43% respectively. So, so the attrition rate was just like 8.57, which considered as quite low and less risk of bias. Okay. And these are the characteristics of the participants from the control group and also the intervention group. Okay. So in terms of gender, marital status, educational level, and daily working hours. And then we got like, yeah. Thank you. Okay, thank you. All right, thank you, Tia. So those are the characteristics that we included in profiling the participants for the two groups, interventions and also control groups. And also we included the levels of their career competencies. So these are so what being included under the career competencies are reflections on motivation, reflections on qualities, networking, self-profiling, work explorations, and career control. So if you look at closely at the characteristics of the career competencies, is similar to the one that we embed in the module of mobile career competencies interventions. Okay. And so these are the baseline comparison social demographic characteristics of participants. Okay. So we try to get the baseline within these two groups, which are interventions and control group, in order to ensure that there are no bias in the selections of the individuals and those who included under the interventions or in the control group. So no bias in terms of selections basically, and then this test further confirm that basically no bias in terms of the selections of the participants into the two groups, interventions and also control. Okay, so these are all confirmed that no bias, less bias, I would say. Right. So, so on the results on the we tested on the based on the 3 readings. Okay, the baseline, and at the first at the start, and then after 4 weeks, and then after 12 weeks. Okay, so based on these readings, we try to put it on the graph, to see on the increment or declining, of the line, and then we see that for motivation, which is one important elements in the module. So we see that there is a significant interaction effect between the group and time. And then so it shows as you can see from this graph here, so it shows that the intervention group, it denotes a significant increase in the motivation, while the control group, it shows like no change on that part. Okay. So next, on the reflection of qualities, so we also see a significant interaction effect, as you can see. And then for the control group, there is no change. And next, on the effectiveness of networking, however, for this element of the module, we see no significant interaction effect. So the graph also show likewise. And then for self-profiling, we also see no significant interaction effect. Although it's slightly increasing, but it's not significant. Okay. And for the effectiveness of work exploration, so here we clearly see the significant interaction effect, where you can see that this the graph is steadily increasing, okay, while the control group has no change. And then for the career control, we see that there is a significant interaction effect on the aspects of career control. Okay, so as we can see, the blue line. And then although there is a slight change here, but it's not significant for the control group. Okay, next on the career competencies, we see an increasing, it denotes an increasing for the interaction effect, for the career competencies for the intervention group. So all in all, the summary of the results is that we see some significant interaction effect for the elements of motivation, motivation, on qualities, on work exploration, on career controls, and also on career competencies. While networking and self-profiling does not show the significant effect. Okay, so culture-specific mobile career intervention significantly increased career competencies by 9.85%. When I said culture-specific, why I said so? Because when we develop the module, we also test among the inquire from the participants of what are the preferred futures in the MCCI or in the apps. Okay, so it's tailor-made to their needs, to their culture and context, and also to their background. Okay, so it increased the career competencies by 9.85%. And from the baseline, which is 0 week, to week 12. Okay, so there was no significant difference in career competencies for the control group. And then it is consistent with an earlier randomized control trial of career competencies intervention in enhancing young workers' career competencies. Okay, this is based on past studies. So the results are in line with the past studies, some of the related studies. So we conclude that the MCCI found to be significant in enhancing 4 out of 6 sub-dimensions of career competencies. And although we have included networking and self-profiling, which have been found as insignificant in the interaction effect, and these are the elements that highlight on the communicative career competencies. Okay, now if you remember on the elements of the career competencies which I mentioned earlier, there are 3. One is reflexive, reflexivity, and second one is communicative, and third one is behavioral. So on the communication or communicative part, so it shows as insignificant in the results. And researchers says that they also that communicative competencies that be acquired through face-to-face classroom intervention were similar to those conducted to the career skill classroom intervention. So, well, there are some, some of the supporting and also some contradictive views on these matters. Okay, and so basically, and in order to develop the communicative career competencies, it needs more on the face-to-face interaction. Okay, so while when career competency, the MCCI is like, I would say that the overall usage will be using the we are based on the online, medium, so it lacks on the advantage of a face-to-face interaction. So we lack in terms of the face-to-face interactions when using the mobile intervention. Okay, so that probably lead to the results why the communicative part is not significant. Because the mobile itself is we are using just the mobile and then less interaction or face-to-face encounter. Okay, so that probably lead to why the communicative part is insignificant. Okay, so the strength of the study is basically it took an account of the Malaysian culture, so it's being tailor-made to the background, to the context of the public servant. And then it achieved the optimal use and effect according to the feedback received regarding users' desires, needs, and limitations. All right. So in terms of the implications of the study, so it adds to the body of knowledge in terms of it enlighten and it strengthen the social cognitive career theory. that career intervention significantly enhance or change the choice action through mobile medium. And it also enlightened on the part that the spiritual block is an important block of career intervention for public service. So this spiritual block is like, so the underlying principles of this block is the elements of self-efficacy. Right. So to conclude that the culture-specific MCCI has effectively enhanced career competencies among public servants in Malaysia. All right. So these are the study benefits. Yeah. So it will lead to the competence public servants in Malaysia by them to be, firstly enhancing their career competencies. So we're expecting that they will be more proactive in managing their career, and that lead to career performance and then career success. Right. So the step-by-step demo on what, why, and how. Okay. I have a video. Yeah. I hope it works. So this video shows on the what, why, and how of the MCCI. Okay, hang on. Kenapa di Zoom tak masuk videonya? Okay. Ya, betul-betul. Dah. Udah. Ya, udah. Terima kasih. Sudah kan? Tadi udah. Terima kasih. Alright. So tells about what is MCCI. why we should use MCCI and how we should use MCCI. So basically, it's according to the studies, it's user friendly. Yeah, you can install it on your phone, provided that it's Android. Yeah, and then you can actually log on every day. So it can be self-administered by the user. Okay, and then you get points. Yeah. Or rewards to motivate to use the apps. All right. So the purpose of the MCCI, as said in the video, to enhance career competencies of public servant and to suggest a new approach to developing public servants' career competencies, while taking into consideration factors that contribute to the subjective benchmark of career success in the public sector. So in terms of I'm sorry that we cannot see the upper part of the tool. If you can actually adjust and bring it down, boleh tak, Bu? Ke bawah kan yang benda tu, atas tu. The meeting is being recorded. I think you can bring that down. All right, okay. So still you can bring this down. Yeah, better. Okay. So how MCCI can help industry and employees? Okay. Now, as employees, yeah, so it significantly increased career competencies in regards to competition. It highlight when you have passions, when you have the values, yeah, and it will increase the motivations. It will then increase competition. It will increase knowledge. And this will all cumulatively, it will lead to employees' career success and then going for industry performance. Okay, so from the research and from the two phases of the methodology, we derive to 3 products. Okay, the first product is the flow diagram for the MCCI, and this flow diagram is for the mobile application. And the second product is the source code for the MCCI, the Mobile Career Competencies Intervention, which is for the mobile application. And the third one is the Mobile Career Competencies Intervention module. Okay, so going for the first one, the flow diagram, let's dive into the first product. So this is the first product, where the flow diagram. So it begins with the login, the correct login, and then we got like 2 dashboards, which highlights on the reward screen and also the open course screen. Okay. So I'm just sharing the snapshots of the diagram. All right. So basically, the flow diagram, it consists of the login page, and then so the which and then it goes to the main page, which is the introductions of the video automatic launch for the first time login, and then you go to either the dashboard for discussions, or you might go for trying out the module. We have the 9 modules, and then so you got like reward system page and also the leaderboard, so where you can either get platinum, gold, silver, or bronze. So these are basically, we also include some of the psychological element here, and based on what preferred by the respondents. So they want some sort of like motivations in order to continuously using the mobile apps. Okay, so that's about the flow diagram. Going to the second product, which is the source code for MCCI. So this is its development tool is based on Android Studio 4. Okay, so it's the mobile apps language also is using Android. Yeah, and this is part of the limitations of the apps. So this is snapshots of the the source code. I think for this source code alone, I have like 200 over pages. Yeah, for the source code. Okay, so this is just a snapshot showing you on the source code. And then the MCCI screen. So this is the the login page. Yeah, we see. Yeah, it start with entering your name, yeah, and the password, and then the create a user page. Okay, and then the error message pop up windows. Okay. Right. So the video introductions in order to get like, some ideas on what is this. Yeah. So we also embed the videos as what shared just now. And this is basically for first time only. Okay. And next is the main page where we have all the elements like leaderboard, courses, the reward, and also forum. Yeah. So this is what as can be seen in your mobile apps. Okay. So the courses, and then the leaderboard, which indicating your current level. Okay, what is your level? Okay, and then the reward page system. You can also redeem the points. Yeah. Not sure whether you can get that 10 ringgit, 30 ringgit, or 50 ringgit. Okay. So it's just part of the motivations. And then the reward system info. Well, here a maximum total points and 1 point is equivalent to 50 cents ringgit Malaysia, which you can redeem and screenshot and send to secretariat. So, so this is like this is for the trial actually. For the trial where we run the tests. So this is just for for the trial, we have to give some sort of incentive to our participants. So if they do it, and then only we can get the results. Which can we know then whether it's effective or not. So so the dashboard, which users share their experience and insight. So we get some feedbacks from the users as well. And then so these are the module page where we have the 9 modules all in. And they are the different courses which comprise of career competencies. So later on I will go to the this is the course 1. Who am I? And so we have the video. And then course 2, understanding yourself. So this is like it's more more contents to the modules. Module 2, like we include or for instance, for module 2 we include like who am I, with the Raizek. Raizek is based on the Holland theory, which realistic, investigative, so artistic and scientific, entrepreneurial, and then so this is based on Holland theory that individual values, if they match with the context of their working or the works, then basically it will then triggers their passions, and then so all in all it will lead to being successful in their career. Okay, leadership, personality, and personality warna and personality sidik. Okay. So so this is more details about we only take like for instance the interventory personality warna. So these are some of the what have been embedded within this element. Okay, the activities. Okay. And then, so for course 3 is my passions and my future. Right. And course 4 is my network and my action plan. And course 5 is on what you are now. So we have activities that related. And then course 6 is psychological impact by JPA. JPA stands for Jabatan Perkhidmatan Awam or the Public Service Department of Malaysia. So according to according to JPA indicators, because they have to go in line with that, in order to achieve in their career. And then course 7 is on the activities. Course 8 on time management. And course 9 on some of the related journals, which further enlighten them on some specific aspects of career competencies. Okay, so we also do share some knowledge within the course that have been highlighted in the module. So course 9 is completion. And then, so that is, that's why the course source code for each and every module, it's so many. Yeah, all right. So, and then, going for the module. Okay. So the module, we have 9 modules as what being shared just now. You can see 9 modules. Yeah. And the modules are career competencies, who am I, as a reflections, and my passions and my future, my network and my action plan, self-profiling, psychological impact by JPA, career constructions, time management, and related journal. Although we would like as much as possible to make it not so formal in terms of giving names to the module. Yeah. And at the same time, we also try not to make it rather general, or to the extent that we couldn't see what is actually within the module. Yeah. So and then finally we come up to these 9 names for the 9 modules. Okay. So the module was validated using CIDIC, using experts, and then based on CIDIC modules development module, and the validity overall is 86%, and the highest percentage that given by the evaluator in terms of the suitability for the target group was 92%, and the lowest was 76%. Okay, so module 1. More details about each module. Okay, module 1 on the career competencies. It is the educational intervention, which consists of the theory and explanation of what is career competencies. Okay, so module 2 is who am I, in terms of understanding themselves. It consists on the exercise with a reflection on motivation and reflection on qualities. It reflects on the values that are important to you in your career and brainstorm about your personal qualities. So module 3, my passions and my future. It is a symbolic time machine to discover current jobs and some details, and focus on career control, which start with the action plan and then formulating the career-related goals. And so these are the contents. And then module 4 on my network and my action plan, it contains the module on networking, which referring to the awareness of the presence and professional values of one's network and the ability to expand this network for career-related purposes. So module 5 is on self-profiling, which the score interrelated to the public manager's competencies. Yeah. And module 6 on psychological impact by JPA, Jabatan Perkhidmatan Awam of the Public Service Department. And then Module 7, Career Construction Intervention, where it prompts participants to reflect on the narrative of their emerging career stories. Okay. So they have some activities in relation to that. And Module 8 on time management is, it provides some tips on time management and advice on using phone calendar. Okay. So Module 9, it contains of like related journals, which allows respondent to understand what is a career. Right. So that is about the 3 products. Okay. But when we try to compare on the existing product in the market, okay, there are several existing products in the market. Like and comparing to these existing products to our MCCI, the similarities are all these products are focusing on career competencies intervention. We have from Ackermans and we have also from apa tulis tu? So we have the also second comparisons. And then however, the difference between each of these models, the other 2 models, they only have 5 modules, but our modules have, our MCCI got 9 modules. Okay. All right. So next is on the difference. Said it can be conducted using the online application, but for the Ackerman models, comparison 1, it can be conducted in classroom mode. For comparison 2, yes, it can be conducted through a mobile application. For difference 3, we see that it includes the local instrument to measure reflection on qualities and motivation. So meaning to say it's try to custom made to the context of the study. But for comparison 1, it only includes self-reflection. But for comparison 2, it is an overseas instrument. All right. Next is okay. The difference is MCCI included additional educational intervention, such as Module 1, 8, and 9. Okay. But the other 2 modules, they have no educational intervention. In fact, our module, it includes some reflective journals. So difference 5 is the MCCI has been validated by employing the experts, and we achieved 86%. And no validations for the other 2 models. All right. In terms of commercialization potentials, because we also try to like, provide more information if we're trying to sell the product to the market. And our market are basically the organizations. So what are the perceived advantage and benefits? So 2 organizations, it saved 14 training days per staff away from office and savings of 2,000 cost of training per manager for attending the classroom training. Okay. So rather than they go for the classroom training and spend hours and also some cost there, so they can just use the MCCI. Okay. So for HRD, it enhanced career competencies for a public manager, increase knowledge, competitions, and a self-driven motivational tool. Okay. So the unique selling point for the product is it is a cultural and context-based modules, convenience and engaging to managers, readable links to critical training modules, attractive interface features, and easy maneuvering of self-learning. Okay. So for it can also be, applicable to multiple markets, like public service, NGOs, local companies, with definitely few modifications, by changing the relevant policies and or instrument. Okay. So the work is integrated and incorporates the cultural and contextual model, and it achieves the user's optimal use and effect. It offers some advantage of being independent of time and location. Yeah, the users can actually use it. So based on their own pace, of time and also of location, and larger interacting capacity, and cost and time effectiveness. Right. So in regards to the performance, so based on the effectiveness studies, so it has went through the validation process by the 6 experts, and they found that 86% of content validity, and it achieved 82.87% and less 68 problematic, and in terms of acceptable usability and whatnot. Okay, so we also recruit some officers in along that line. And in terms of effectiveness, it increased career competencies by 9.85%. Okay, so mean difference is 0.283 from baseline to week 12. Okay, so whereby no significant difference in the control group. All right. So other relevant informations about the studies is basically the study also in collaborations with the Department of Public Service, the JPA, and where we have conducted training programs for the MCCI, which also involves managers, and these managers then become our respondents of the study. And so we have gained the clinical trial approval for conducting the study, although this study is not directly related to medical. And we have gained 3 copyrights from this study, and which are the Career Competencies Intervention Module, the flow diagram for the MCCI, and also the source code for the MCCI. All right, and then we got like publications in Q1 and also the Gold Award in the International Exhibitions of Research. So with that, thank you so much for your attentions. And then, so I thank you all, and passing back to Tia. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any question? Yeah. 3 question first. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, ma'am, for this presentation. I have 3 questions regarding to the study. First, I will be asked regarding to the qualitative research method. You use mixed method, sequential mixed method. So for qualitative research method, which type of tools do you have used for data analysis? Do you imply content analysis or thematic analysis? This is question number 1. For
Can I respond to one each
sure.
at a time?
Yeah.
Okay, so first and foremost, thank you for the questions and thank you for the interest. So as for the data analysis, we go for constant comparative methods. So we develop few themes along that line, and the data will analyze using Atlas TI.
Okay. So you have also conducted a pilot study.
Pardon?
Pilot study.
Yes, we conducted pilot study.
Yeah. So for a pilot study to check the validity of variable, which statistical test do we usually conduct? Or maybe we usually use to check the validity of variable. We use confirmatory factor analysis, or maybe which type of statistical test?
Okay. So for the validity, we conduct content validity by employing the 6 experts. And then we also run for the like looking for the advanced analysis when we do the convergent validity and discriminant validity. And so based on these advanced statistics of divergence and also discriminant and convergence validity, so we we achieve the validations for the instruments.
Okay. The third question is related to in the context of Indonesia, maybe in the context of Pakistan, if someone to conduct this type of study, so how we will be conduct this study?
Yeah, I think based on the informations that we have in the publications, and then based on our disseminations of the findings of this study, we do have detail out on the methodologies. So replication is possible, but of course, as this instruments is being tailor made to the culture of Malaysian, so it's need a little bit tweak here and there in order to custom made to Pakistan or to Indonesian context.
Oh, okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor, for the opportunity given. It's been an honor to see you in this class. Actually, I've been informed by Professor Corina to attend your class on Monday, if I'm not mistaken. But there's another occasion with my cohort. For the beginning, actually, I was still confused about what's the difference between career competence and basic behavioral competencies. Yeah, but after seeing your presentations, there's a brief explanation, and that's a good start for me to explore myself. What I would like to say about your research is this is fantastic. I can see a lot of efforts, time, money, yeah, invested in this kind of study. I can also see that you're not employing only expert in psychology, but there's IT expert perhaps, and people on the ministry perhaps involved in this kind of study. I would like to take some wisdom from you, ma'am. I'm only a student on my master degree in this university, and seeing this kind of research, it's a bit intimidating to me.
What? Seeing what?
It's intimidating because it's just too good. It's just too good. Can you share your wisdom of how to endure all kind of challenges perhaps you have been faced in this study you've been carried out?
All right. Okay. First and foremost, thank you so much. Yeah. And to respond to your questions, yeah. So basically, I would say that there is no research without challenges. But what I'm sharing with you are all the rosy part. Okay. But the challenges are always there. Yeah. Like in terms of course, yeah, when we are dealing with people, okay, in terms of cooperations, yeah, in terms of, all are there, yeah. But of course, that are part and parcels of doing research, yeah. But that then I would say, yeah, it tells us that we need to become more meticulous, more careful, and also it teaches us to become more matured in doing research. Yeah. So yes, again, yeah, the challenges are always there, regardless whether you go for a small scale research or a big scale research. Yeah. So just embrace it, positively, yeah, because there is no problem that cannot be solved. Yeah? But what most important in research is we try to do it ethically, yeah, and then so that it goes along with the line, and then it's easier for us to when we have set the right foundations, yeah, and then we go be transparent and whatnot, yeah. So the next process will be more smoother and easier. Yeah? This regardless of the challenges, which I say that is always there, yeah. But yes, we have to then confront it more positively. Yeah, we cannot, in a nutshell, we cannot avoid these challenges. Yeah, don't be intimidated. So, well, you know, when we do research in a team, where we can actually leverage from each other, and then we can optimize our expertise and whatnot, and with the collaborations of many partners, like the ministries, respondents. Yeah, I believe all in all, it helps to the successful implementations of the research. Thank you.
Thank you. I wonder how long it takes from phase 1, phase 2 until it's done.
All right. So all in all, this research took about 3.5 years, almost 4 years.
3.5 years.
Yeah, almost 4 years.
Okay. Prof, we have our senior lecturer raise hand. Maybe she wants to ask you directly.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Monggo silakan Bu Frida.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Roziah. It is really
Frida.
it is very good and very comprehensive research. I wonder the Malaysian public government should use it, not only the 64 of the experimental group can be using this one, because you already make it especially cultured specific for your public servants in Malaysia. Yeah, how you plan to make it really used by your government public employee? That's my
Right.
first.
Okay, thank you so much, Bu Frida. So basically, this product is, we hope that it's not just to be shelved, but to be used. And therefore, we're trying to disseminate the information about these studies and so the results. And we have also tried to initiate some fundings in order to run some more trials and to get acceptance from the ministries, especially from the private organizations in Malaysia. But as we all know, when you said just now about challenges, that is also part of the challenges that it's not easy to sell the products. And what more when we as the academicians, so being an academic, they say, oh, you're full of theories, okay, but then yeah, definitely the process of educating and disseminating the findings to others need to be done in order to create some awareness that there is a need to apply some different approach of career development of the individual. So that's why and some of the efforts which have been done, we try to approach some of the units in order to help us in marketing the product. But these kind of efforts, it takes some tolls of the our time and also the energy as well. Yeah, so
We wish you luck and pray for that you can make it.
Okay, thank you.
I have my second question.
Yeah.
Is according to the research that you use experimental and control groups, right?
Right.
Yeah, I wonder what you're doing for the control group, since you have 9 sessions, 9 courses for the experimental, and what did the control group have actually for the way that you present the program?
All right. Thank you for the second question. So while we have 2 groups, the first one is interventions, where we gave them the intervention, which comprise of the 9 modules. However, for the control groups, we don't give anything. So they just run as usual.
What do you mean? They open the game and say just hello, what's your name?
They don't, they just follow as usual the day-to-day activities. Yeah. and working, yeah, but they are not being given anything basically.
What do you mean? So this is through the
The control group, yes.
program, the control group.
yeah.
I mean, it's not having any entering the program at all.
No. So they follow the usual training program and whatnot, business as usual. So business as usual in the sense that the interventions group are also following business as usual, but on top of that, they are being given the intervention. So basically, these groups, since it's been conducted in like 12 weeks, so within this time, business runs as usual for the two groups. However, for the intervention group, we gave them the interventions of the MCCI.
How you explain to control group that you are being a control and you are being observed or you're being noted or for whatever they're doing as business as usual? I'm not quite understand what happened to that group.
So basically, we just check on the baseline, and then so then checking again on our next interval is on the 4th week, and the next one is on the 12th week. Yeah, so we just measures accordingly. So if without the MCCI, so in terms of whether there is a significant increase or declining or in certain aspects of what we have been measured. So as business running as usual, and that being said, they're also being exposed to other trainings given by the organizations. And then, well, the same goes with our intervention group. But on top of that, they are being given the MCCI module. Yeah, so it's not just like without nothing. Yeah, so they just follow the business as usual. But the difference is the intervention group being given the MCCI. Well, probably that is also part of our limitations in this study. Yeah, and due to some time limitations as well, and then well, probably in the future, we might also look into this matter to give some like placebo, or some kind of other things just to justify their involvement in our study. All right, thank you.
Thank you. My third question, hopefully this will be the last one. This is a program of intervention. There will be interactive program and interaction. That you mentioned also the interaction effect. Is that right? So I just wonder, because we just noticing for the 9 courses that you have been trying to give us a glance of it, how the interaction and the feedback they will be given, so they can increase the score. Like the score for every courses, like pre-test and post-test, or what kind of feedback that make them having increased information or competencies for every courses. That's my questions.
All right, thank you very much. That is important questions. And for that, so we have actually prepared like a medium in the mobile apps itself for the feedbacks from the users. So there is like a channel embedded within the MCCI for the users to give us feedback.
So they get feedback for every courses or for every activities?
For overall.
Overall.
Yes, for overall, meaning they can actually specify which course and whatnot. So I mean, they are free to give feedback on whichever things that they want.
Okay, because it is individual, yeah? Individual intervention, is that right? Because in a group intervention, they can see and get some insight. But this is from the modules itself and from the program itself. They will give feedback, and that they will know which one is getting better or which one could be increased, something like that.
Yeah. So the feedback will go to the researcher.
Oh.
Because it's a pilot study, Ibu. It's a pilot study. Yeah, so we need to understand on the what's happening at the ground.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you then. Good luck with your research, and hopefully it will be really have meaningful for the Malaysian public government.
Thank you very much, Ibu Frida.
Thank you, Prof. Frida. We have another question from the Zoom. Okay. Let me read it. The implication of from Penny. The implication of the study highlight that a culture-specific career intervention can significantly influence decision making, and that a spiritual component is essential in career intervention, especially for public services. How might the integration of spiritual and cultural aspect enhance the effectiveness of career intervention in public service sector? And what challenges might arise in implementing such intervention across different cultural contexts?
Okay. Wow. It's like a vibe, I will say. Okay. Thank you for the questions, Bu Penny. Right. There are two questions here, which are how might the integration of spiritual and cultural aspects enhance the effectiveness of career intervention? Okay, so I'll be answering the first question first. Yeah. So I would say that first and foremost, when when developing an apps, so it need to be a user-friendly apps. Yeah. It need to be apps which being preferred in terms of its features and whatnot, being preferred by the users. And for that, we conducted an interview in order to find out on what are the preferred future for the users. So so that being said, so we try to identify on those the cultural aspects, and when these aspects being integrated with the spiritual aspect, which embed the elements of self-efficacy, outcome expectations, all in all, the aspects of the psychological aspects of the individual. It will boost, or it will triggers, and it will enhance the effectiveness of the career intervention. Because basically, when we like something, when we have we develop the likeness or the liking for each aspect. Like, okay, if you want to use the mic, of course you like some specific features of the mic. So for this one, like it's easier to handle, and then it's mobile. So for that reason, we try to instill all these elements. And that definitely it minimize rejections among the users. And with the spiritual aspect, so when there are motivational aspects embedded within, so it increase the values, and also they enable them to see the values behind it. So we add on these values, and it create passions, the sense of passions in using the MCCI, and both hand in hand, these two aspects of the spiritual and also the cultural aspect. I would say that it enhanced the effectiveness of the MCCI or the interventions. Okay, and especially when said that the public service nowadays, they are mostly coming from the Gen Y. So Gen Y, they have their own and entitlement of like, okay, they like this, they like not like that. Yeah. So we try to also meet with this, demanding characters of the population. Okay. And then the next question is
What challenge might rise?
challenge might
in
arise in implementing such intervention across different cultural contexts? Well, different culture, different context, it comes together with different challenges. Yeah, but definitely when I would say that in general, yeah, when we are dealing with people coming from different culture, well, rejection, yeah, is something that we can anticipate actually. And then and with that anticipation, that's why we run the interviews to actually explore on what are their preferred design characteristics and whatnot, how they would like it to be designed. So it will be like suggestions, recommendations. Yeah, if it's to be used in a different culture, probably you need to also explore on what are the preferred future contents and whatnot by the general population. So that's the I hope that I have answered. Can you scroll back to the questions? Okay. So that is one of the challenge, because in dealing with people, and as I said, we can always anticipate this rejection. To reduce the rejection, so we have to explore what they like and what they dislike. And other challenges are basically, if we were run it among the public organizations, well, they have already their own systems, and also to then, hi, we have a new system here, so it's not easy. So a lot of convincing, a lot of talks, slow talks, dialogues are very much necessary in order to to convince them that, oh, this is good, and for it then to be implemented in the mass population. All right, Maggie?
Okay. I think this the last question. Yeah. From Saud, what is differentiation between leadership module in career competency in this intervention and leadership module in leadership or managerial competencies?
Okay, thank you, Saud, for the yeah. Thank you, Bapak Saud. Okay. So what is the
difference
differentiation between leadership module in career competency in this intervention and leadership module in leadership managerial competencies? Well, to go for the details, I will say that probably in the layman term, which I can describe about the module, this module of leadership is related to being a leader to ourselves, leads, which it also aligned with the KPI or the key performance index of the Department of Public JPA, Department of Public Service, where we have the lead self, lead group, and also lead organization. So the elements of leadership is started with leading ourselves, and then leading the group, and then leading the organization. Well, that is in order to achieve the career success, basically. So basically, how it differs from the leadership managerial competencies. Well, I would say that when we're talking about the leadership module, or probably the leadership type, we have this is not applied to the the leaders or the managers per se, but it applies to each and every individual who have a career. Well, definitely everybody got a career, right? Yeah. So it applies to everybody with a career. So everybody have to proactively managing, navigating their own career towards their career performance. And that's the leadership elements in this module.
I think because of the time, this is the final question. I give you time for conclusion and closing statement.
All right. Okay. So thank you very much, Tia, and thanks to each and every one of you, for your participations and for your valued questions, so I really appreciate all those, and so now what I can conclude about this, so is actually when it comes to career development, there are lots of interventions, but what kind of interventions that we must have, or a recommended one is it must be something that is based on the context and based on the users themselves and what is needed. And definitely it goes back to the statement of problems. And then I would say that nowadays, especially in this world of the advance in technologies, I think everybody is going for the apps or the solutions which integrated with technology. Yeah. So to actually adhere to this space, then I would say, and I believe that by having a software or like an apps or tools which have the basic technology, or it requires technology or whatnot, is probably the best interventions, one of the interventions that can be introduced for the public, for the employees at large. Okay. But all in all, I would say when it comes to career development, the main element or the block of factors that actually push us to propel and also to be more advanced compared to others is the individual self. Okay, so despite all the technologies, the apps, the solutions, the interventions of what we have, or what have been existingly introduced, but the main factors will be the individual self. Okay, so if we have the motivations, we have the efficacy, inshallah, it can be a motivating factors for us to move further and to to behave likewise, and also to propel and to advance in our career. Okay, so having said that, all the best to us all in our career. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Prof. Roziah. Give applause for her.
Thank you very
for,
much. Thank you all.
Full of insight of this comprehensive experiments research.
Yeah, thank you for the participants, from the Zoom meeting. Thank you to all docents and also students who joined the sessions for today. I hope it benefits us all. Thank you very
Okay.
much. And thank you
Thank
to
you.
those attending physical.
Okay, don't forget to fill the link for the absence. Yeah. Okay. I have another pantun. May I?
Oh, sorry. Okay. Ya, sorry Bu Tia, because tadi pantunnya tidak dijawab. Ya, sekarang sudah ada another pantun.
Please.
Okay. Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah, I cannot.
It's okay.
Okay.
Petik bunga di tepi telaga. Bunganya indah berwarna-warni. Sampai jumpa di lain masa. Semoga kita berjumpa lagi.
Okay, thank you very much for the pantun. But unfortunately, I cannot respond.